Alright, so not really sure where this video is going to pop up. I'm still missing wiring for the radio. It's on back order or whatever, so we're kind of in that. So I got a big old pile of dash parts all over the place. But I do want to put in the second window, so I need to drill out 14 of these large pop rivets. There's a junction right there, so but I need to get all 14 of those out of there so I can get that off. I haven't been posting a lot of videos. Regretfully, my wife is in the hospital again. We are fighting with the hospital and outpatient services because she needs to have dialysis and we're not getting it. So yeah, there's a whole problem with the dialysis because of the level of care she needs. So I want to get this van done so that when we do get her home, we'll be able to at least use it for a while until her health gets worse again, and then be wherever. So again, so let's pop this off. Now it looks like I have a joint right there, so I guess I only need the upper panel. So that'd be kind of cool. And then I can leave this lower one here. Okay, so drill bit time. Alright, so I got the heads all off. I got them all over here on the floor. Bunch of metal. But the bracket is still on because it's still just barely holding. So I need to get me a little pry bar. And of course I've always got one that doesn't want to come off. But I think that if I can... There it goes. Maybe I don't need to pry bar. I can just pop it off by hand. Maybe. So I think I need... I got some of them popped out. So maybe I can get them out with hand. If not, I'll go get a little pry bar so I can pry behind that. But yeah, some of them just popped off just by hand. So we'll see. Maybe I can wiggle it off. Alright, well, I just wiggled it and it literally popped right off. So we do have a line here. So we have an upper panel and a lower, so I can leave the lower panel. So I'm pretty sure that right up there's a screw behind that plate, I think. It isn't that hard to take down, it's just a pain in the butt. And then we have, I don't know if there's screws behind that foam thing. I'm gonna hope there's not. They just slid it in place and called it good. But yeah, I should be able to get this panel off. Now I may have to come back in here with a grinder and grind these out because I don't know what they're in behind there, but they're not pushing in. So, alright, so guess I'll take that upper plate down and we'll see what's behind it. Or I could take the little one that's just that one and see if there's any screws and hope that there's not. But I'm going to have to take it down anyway because they are screwed into the side panel. Alright, well, I'll just take it down. It's only like 8 screws and it pops out real easy. Okay, so on the door side, we have this little panel here. And it doesn't go all the way down to this metal piece. But on this side, we have all these holes. So we're going to want to cover those. So I do have that big piece of plastic. What I would like to do is at least follow the contour of this window a little bit with this plastic. I don't mind having it like this at the bottom. That's okay. I can live with that. Maybe I can get my router out and maybe figure out a way for me to follow the contour of this inner frame. And that way I can just kind of trim that up and it'll look all right. So yeah, not too bad. So yeah, I need to address this because it'll make life a lot easier to get my Sawzall in there. or not my Sawzall, but my skill saw. The rest of it would be pretty easy. So next thing I want to do before I make any major cuts is I want to get the window back out and put it in place and just make sure that I have bought the right window. Now it's supposed to be the right window, but I don't know where the guy originally got it, but he's telling me this, what the part number was, which didn't match the part number that I got from the company. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully that's the right one. It should be. I wonder if I got I got the piece that I drilled out. Maybe I could just hold that up and see how close it is. Because I don't think they're supposed to be different. They could be. That could be an issue. All right, so that'll be the next step. Figuring out if this is the right window, and then making cuts. So, and of course I just put everything away so I could make room. So I will need to vacuum up all these metal shavings, but I'm going to make more, so I might wait. And I need to drive these guys in so that they're not poking out. So guess I could do that real quick. And then this piece of foam is kind of stuck in there. I'm not sure what's going on, so I might have to unscrew that a little bit and push it back down where it belongs. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to push all these in and then figure out if this is the right panel. All right, so I tried hammering those in, and they're pretty much where they're at. So I'm going to have to get my grinder out and grind the heads down. I think that'll be the easiest route. So yeah, so I need to drag out this window and make sure it's the right one. I was told it is, but let's see here. Is there an actual part number on this box? Quantity 1. It does say I'm going to read it here. Invoice number 2354 or 94. It says one double vent driver's side 144 170. Well, it's supposed to be it. This was a public auction part, so who knows. Alright, so we're gonna go try to figure that out. This probably was like a return or something. Is that that part number is all jacked up. Alright, and the bad thing is none of these come with paperwork, so it's always hard to tell anyway. Okay, so guess I'm gonna need to make some room. Shit. And my exhaust came in. I ordered the exhaust that goes with this, the intake I put on there. So it's a AFE power exhaust system. It's a DEF or DPF, I guess, back, and it gives you two exhaust options. You can either port the exhaust out on the side or port it out straight back and get it out, because right now the exhaust ports underneath the van, and if you're gonna use it for anything, you really don't want all them gases building up underneath if you're sitting. So it ports out. It gives you both options, so you can choose which one you want. I'm thinking I'll port it out the side, that way it's not interfering with the back door, but we'll see. All right, I have to head back to the hospital, so I think I'll take a break here, and then we'll see if this is the right window when I get to it tomorrow. All right, so I took the window out of the box, and I did hold up the inner frame like they tell you to do, and it is the correct one. And it looks like, so I bought this used. Well, I bought it supposedly new used. It came from an auction. The guy, I guess, bought it and then he just resold it. But Clearly it was installed. You can see where they tried to install it once. It's weird because I don't see marks on it, but it is the right one. So my next thing is I need to get up there and drill some holes and get that ready to cut out. Let's turn that off. All right, so that's the next thing I'm gonna do, drill some holes. Glad that's the right one. I did get my exhaust in, so that's going to be something I'm going to try to do. It's still kind of yucky. It's been pouring ass rain the last couple of days, so I haven't really got done much. And we're still dealing with the hospital and not being able to access the dialysis centers. The hospital doesn't know what to tell me. I had no luck contacting attorneys, so been trying to contact the news agencies, but I haven't really heard anything back from them. So that's where we're at. So my neighbor said he'd give me a hand putting the window in tomorrow. So I know it fits. I know it's the right one. So my next, like I said, my next thing is to drill the holes and start getting it prepped. I'll probably do that here in a little bit. Clean up my mess here, and we'll see what happens. All right, back in a bit. Okay, so I have my holes drilled in the corners. Ah, shit, I cut my hand open. I put 2 holes in each corner that just make using the saw. I'm going to use my air body saw over my skill saw just because it's a little easier to do. I do have to trim that panel back a little bit so that I can get to the contour, but other than that it should be fairly easy. So I'm gonna go grab my airline. I have my saw right here and I'm gonna cut most of it out, and then when my neighbor gets back, I'll have him help me. I'll cut the final little pieces out, and then we'll drop the windshield in, or window in. But once I get this 90% cut, then I'm gonna go ahead and put the tape on. That way it's ready to go. And somewhere around here I have a whole bag of screws. So we'll see. All right, gotta hunt down my air hose. Okay, so got it cut. There's just a little tab on each of the centers that I need to cut through. So I'm going to go around on the outside. I put some tape on the 2 sides to keep them from vibrating. But now I'm going to go ahead and tape all the cuts. That way if it rains, I can keep some water out of here. And then hopefully when my neighbor gets back today, we can make those final little cuts and then put the windshield in, or window in. I will need to go around the edges. I got a little squirrely in a couple spots, so we'll have to deal with that. But for the most part, it's done. All right, so it's all taped. I got in the 4 braces, there's like a little 1/4 inch spot. That's all that's holding this panel in. So this will just keep any moisture from getting inside if it rains. But that part's done. Now it's just a waiting game. All right, well, driver's side crew window is in. I've got 1 screw in the corner that doesn't quite line up. I'm gonna have to pinch it with a pair of pliers, but should be okay. Now we can call it quits and move on to something else.